I will talk today how to build wealth for future. Focus will be to target the corpus required to declare yourself as financial independent. I will repeat the same thing that I tell every time. Financial independence that time will mean that you can continue your same lifestyle for rest of the life whether you work for active income or not. I will take an example of one person at the age of 23, starting professional career with 6 lakhs of annual income and target financial freedom in 16 years. Before I go to actual demonstration with spreadsheet calculation, I will cover 2 things. First, a list of 5 ground rules. These rules are subjective. On the back of the mind, those are required to be ingrained in your habit and behaviors. Second one is the list of parameters with the assumed values that need to be monitored time to time so that you do not derail your own objectives during the journey. Okay, here are the ground rules that should guide your actions wherever money is involved. Number 1. Always spend less than what you earn. Your total expenditure should always be much less than your mainstream income. A good part of your income needs to be invested. If you have surplus income or passive income from other sources, then that money is supposed to be reinvested in full. Number 2. Always avoid debt on depreciable item. If you purchase some asset which in turn will appreciate, then it is okay to take loan. But calculate if payable interest rate is reasonable compared to the appreciation rate of the asset you purchase. Number 3. Plan your budget properly and keep in writing. Follow the planning and spend accordingly. If sometimes some additional unforeseen spendings becomes inevitable that are out of budget, adjust with other spendings as much as possible. Number 4. Raise your standard of living slowly as your income potential increases. Always remember, as your salary increases, risk getting even more. You need to proportionally increase your investment. Number 5. Start early, don't spend too much of time on planning to start. Get things started quick enough. Power of compounding demands time to stay invested. Now the look at 8 parameters as a guideline. I will suggest how to allocate your income into different baskets. Also based on historical statistics, what are the expected rise possible for your income and invested amount? You must recall my earlier suggestion. Save first and spend later. Alright. Start with saving 35% of your annual income. Start SIP to allocate savings into 2 primary asset classes. 70% of your investment will go to equities. When I say equities, it means primarily index mutual funds. That's the best one to start with the assumption that you have less knowledge on stock market dynamics. 30% to go in debt fund. When I say debt fund, that means debt mutual fund. You can select gilt or liquid mutual funds to start, until you become knowledgeable how different debt funds work. Please note that 45% of your income should be enough to pay for your basic expenses. You must start paying insurance premiums to mitigate medical emergencies and also cover your life. You must limit your insurance premiums such that it does not go beyond 5% of your income. You can also purchase some assets by paying up to 15% of your income as EMI. I hope you can understand so far how to properly allocate the earnings into savings and expenses. This part is in your control. Now the other part from the list of parameters that are not in your full control. Expect equity and debt part of your portfolio will increase at 12% and 6% over a long period time. Inflation data will remain 6% average. Put your focus on your skill building process, so that you get a steady growth for your earning potential. 12% salary increase per year is also reasonable expectation. You can build your career with the same organization you joined. If expectations are not met, you must try to switch to other places without compromising the salary component. Okay, please note every parameter very carefully. Wealth Builder tool is nothing but calculation with the value of parameters. You need to monitor and adjust using Wealth Builder tool as the value of parameters will change. Now, here goes the actual Wealth Builder, a simplest starting template. I will show one extracted part from a spreadsheet. I will share later with you the actual Excel file that will include both building and burning process. But it is always better you create your own template as you understand the logic. You already know the key parameters. Let me help you to understand few things in depth. See the savings column. It is 35% of your income column. The savings column amount is distributed between equity and debt column. Those are your investment part that must do action right after you have your paycheck at the end of any month. Not at the end of the year. Amount here is shown as annual figures though. Representative EMI and insurance premiums are shown in 2 columns. Those could be monthly or annual payments. Using simple arithmetic, wealth column is derived after all your expenses for the first years. For the next year onwards, possible growths are also factored in while calculating the wealth figure at the end of the year. Keep noting the multiplier column. That is the deciding factor when to stop calculation. I discussed the FIRE formula in the last video. You keep tracking that when multiplier figure touches 30. Multiplier tells you that your current wealth is how many times of your annual gross expenditure. EMI, insurance column figures could be misleading on later years. Consider them as those will include the other expenses that will increase as your family will grow. You have always the flexibility to deprecate the spreadsheet with the nature of expenditures and track them. But one thing you never forget, that multiplier figures should continue to increase. As you follow this discipline, you can easily enter into the safe zone in 15 years. On the 16th year you will be having the choice what you want to do next. By that time, you will reach your dream goal of financial independence. Reminding again, multiplier 25 suggests that you are lean fire. 30 suggests that you are coast fire, and 35 will help you to become fat fire. That's the end of the second part of Complete Handbook of Portfolio Management Process. I will have 4 more videos in this series. Stay tuned. Subscribe and hit notification button to stay connected.